There is something undeniably addictive about dragging your finger across a glowing touchpad and hearing your audio warp into something completely unrecognizable. Most people who have spent any time in a studio or behind a DJ booth know exactly what this thing is, but even years later, it still feels like a piece of gear from the future. It is not just a box of tricks. It is an instrument that demands you actually play it. When you get your hands on it, the first thing you notice is that the build feels sturdy enough to survive a chaotic night in a club, though the plastic casing does have a bit of a hollow ring to it if you tap it too hard. The real magic, of course, is in the interface. Having that massive, responsive surface to manipulate filters, delays, and grain shifters in real time is just more intuitive than twisting a dozen tiny knobs. You are essentially painting with sound, and that tactile connection is why this device has stayed relevant for so long. With 150 effects packed inside, including a solid chunk of new additions, there is plenty of room to get lost in experimentation. Some of the new filters are surprisingly aggressive, which is great for those moments when you really want to tear a track apart. But honestly, a few of the presets feel a bit dated or overly dramatic for subtle work. You have to be careful not to overdo it, because this thing can turn a clean mix into a wall of noise in a heartbeat if you get too carried away. The sampling side of things is surprisingly deep for a unit this portable. You can capture loops on the fly, slice them up, and trigger them with the pads, which makes it a fantastic companion for live sets where you want to build layers without staring at a laptop screen. It is refreshing to use something that does not require a mouse or a menu dive to get a result. That said, the screen is a bit low resolution by modern standards, and navigating through the deeper settings can feel a little clunky compared to the fluid motion of the touchpad. It is a minor gripe, but it reminds you that this is a design from a different era. You might also find yourself wishing for a bit more headroom when you are pushing the gain, as it can get a little crunchy if you're not watching your levels. Still, for the price and the sheer amount of creative control it puts at your fingertips, it is hard to find a direct competitor that feels this fun. It is not a perfect piece of gear, and it definitely has a learning curve if you want to master the more complex sampling features, but it is one of those rare tools that actually makes you want to create. If you're looking for a way to inject some spontaneity into your performances, or just want a dedicated hardware box to mangle your synths, this is still one of the most reliable ways to do it. It is not just about the specs or the number of effects. It is about that immediate, physical feedback you get when you touch the pad. It is a classic for a reason, and even with its little quirks, it remains a staple for a reason.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.